The left is so confused on this topic. I honestly think that it would be possible to find someone in an orange jumpsuit about to get his head cut off who, with his last words, would complain about Islamophobia. Literally a bad right-wing cartoon is possible in the real world now, given the moral confusion we're dealing with. And the confusion is the direct result of the words we use. And much of this confusion has been consciously engineered by obscurantists. A word like Islamophobia was invented to spread confusion. And now we have a president and a press who use it completely unselfconsciously. Now, the president just gave a speech. It ended like 5 minutes ago. I'll tell you what harms the vast majority of Muslims that love freedom and hate terror. Muslim theocracy does. Muslim intolerance does. Wahhabism does. Salafism does. Islamism does. Jihadism does. Sharia law does. The mere conservatism of traditional Islam does. Okay, we're not talking about only jihadists hating homosexuals or thinking they should die. We're talking about conservative Muslims. The percentage of British Muslims polled who said that homosexuality was morally acceptable was 0. Do you realize what it takes to say something so controversial in a poll that not even 1% of those polled would agree with it? There's almost no question that extreme that you will ever see in a poll that gets a 0. But ask British Muslims whether homosexuality is morally acceptable, and that's what you get. And the result is more or less the same in dozens of other countries. It's 0 in Cameroon, 0 in Ethiopia, 1% in Nigeria, 1% in Tanzania, 1% in Mali, 2% in Kenya, 2% in Chad, 1% in Lebanon, 1% in Egypt, 1% in the Palestinian territories, 1% in Iraq, 2% in Jordan, 2% in Tunisia, 1% in Pakistan, but 10% in Bangladesh. Bangladesh, that bright spot in the Muslim world where they are regularly hunting down and butchering secular writers with machetes. The people who suffer under this belief system are Muslims themselves, the next generation of human beings born into a Muslim community who could otherwise have been liberal, tolerant, well-educated, cosmopolitan, productive people, are, to one or another degree, being taught to aspire to live in the Middle Ages or to ruin this world en route to some fictional paradise after death. That's the thing we have to get our heads around. And yes, some of what I just said applies with varying modifications to other religions and other cults, but there is nothing like Islam at this moment for generating this kind of intolerance and chaos. And if only a right-wing demagogue will speak honestly about it, then we will elect right-wing demagogues in the West more and more in response to it. And that will be the price of political correctness. That's when this check will finally get cashed. That will be the consequence of this persistent failure we see among liberals to speak and think and act with real moral clarity and courage on this issue. The root of this problem is that liberals consistently fail to defend liberal values as universal human values. Their political correctness, their multiculturalism, their moral relativism has led them to rush to the defense of theocrats and to abandon the victims of theocracy, and to vilify anyone who calls out this hypocrisy for what it is as a bigot. And to be clear, right, and this is what liberals can't seem to get, is that speaking honestly about the ideas that inspire Islamism and jihadism, beliefs about martyrdom and apostasy and blasphemy and paradise and honor and women, right, is not an expression of hatred for Muslims. It is, in fact, the only way to support the embattled people in the Muslim community, the reformers and the liberals and the secularists and the free thinkers and the gays and the Shia in Sunni majority contexts and Sufis and Ahmadis and, as Majid Nawaz puts it, the minorities within the minority who are living under the shadow and sword, rather often, of theocracy.